What do I think about it? Obviously, like the messing up of certain businesses around here, you know, is not really called for. But at the end of the day, I understand the root of why young people are acting like this, and I'm sure a lot of political people do also. But on the surface, they're not gonna really address why. They're gonna keep themselves politically correct in how they address the public. Do you get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the young people have been let down, and their parents too have been let down. When you're talking about this situation, yeah, you're looking at predominantly young black people that are carrying out a lot of these activities. When you look at the political, social environment that they've grown up in, they have been let down by the political system, educationally, and just the divide. You know, they haven't got equal opportunity as much as their social peers in other social, on the social ladder. They haven't got equal opportunity. There's different what can I call it? There's different social communities that are in certain positions on the ladder, and a lot of the people on the ground, you're nodding your head, but that's totally correct. Why are you doing that? Come and state what you think to the camera.
Okay, personally what I think, I heard what you said,
yeah.
But what I think is that really these black youths, the only people they got to blame is themselves. They let themselves down.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Hold on, but why would you say that?
Why would you say that? Because okay, I look at myself as like a young black male from an urban area. Mm-hmm. This is my store here that I've like worked hard to be a manager of.
Right.
And these youths, like, they've had the same opportunity as me, but yet, like,
not necessarily.
Okay,
not necessarily. Hold on.
How many black area managers do you have in your company?
Two.
How many area managers do you have in your company?
10.
Okay. Above that position, how many black senior members of staff do you actually have?
Do you know what? To be honest with you, I can't lie and say I'm going to answer that question because I don't. But the opportunity is there to rise if you want to take it. It's there for anyone.
So there's no question.
I've never felt any prejudice in trying to like rise.
2 out of 10 isn't representative
of an equal society.
Especially
not London.
So there is an equal opportunity.
Okay. And at the end of the day,
I don't believe that. I think the opportunities are there, but instead of like knocking it down, like these black youths, like
but you don't know what type of family backgrounds they're coming from as well. Every black youth. And there's a mixture of
it's just black areas.
And it's not young people either. It's not. We can't just generalize and say it's all young people that are carrying out these activities. Because I was standing out here yesterday.
I was here watching the whole thing yesterday, yeah? Right? And despite the fact that robbery shops, everything else are doing what they're doing, yeah? They still have time to come over and say hello to my dog, you know what I mean? And they run through their mask on, yeah? They're not bad people.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day,
it's the day the powder keg of what the government's done, building the situation up as they have done, yeah? They've now got themselves a grenade which is blowing up in their faces.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Because at the end of the day, you have disproportionate statistics of young black people that are failing in schools compared to their counterparts, other racial backgrounds. Also on the street, you have disproportionate numbers of young people that are being stopped and discriminated against by the police. So at the end of the day, a lot of young black males feel that they are being mistreated by the political social society at the end of the day. So what they're going to do is seize the opportunity to show their anger.
Yeah.
And they do that through what you see today. You can't just blame them and say, oh, they're acting like thugs, this, that, and the other. You have to get to the root of why they're acting like this.
Right. My question to you, sir, is you're talking about their counterparts, yeah? Mm-hmm. Right. We're talking about racial counterparts, right? Were they not, given the same curriculum in school?
They was, but you have.
Did they not have? Did they still not have? Did they still have the same?
Hold on, brother. Hold on. You see when you speak about, for instance, when black people came from the Caribbean in the Windrush era, and they had to put their children to school. Remember, we didn't ask to come here. They asked us to come here.
Yeah.
Do you understand? To help build up
to build up Britain
Hold on,
after the war.
let me dispute what I'm saying. To help build up Britain after the war, and they needed nurses and stuff like that. They asked us to come
Nurses,
here.
bus driver, my grandpa was a bus driver.
When those people had children and had to put their children into schools, they came across certain cultural cultural barriers. Do you understand? So the educational system, when the government was asking them to come over here, did they think about the implications of the system that they were bringing them to, and they had to function in? No, they didn't. So as a result of that, you have certain miseducated people. Do you understand? That have children within the society. Yeah, and those children grow up miseducated. So at the end of the day, the government has failed the black population in Britain, is what I think. That's my opinion from the research that I've done. Do you understand? Yeah? There you go. So they were more looking at what they could get out of the Windrush era that came from the Caribbean, rather than seeing it as rather than what we could get out of it. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
By being educated in the right way and being treated as equal members of society. Yeah? So we're getting a backlog of all of that today. And these young people are actually expressing themselves through violence, and they're saying on the news, oh, they're acting greedy. No, they're not acting greedy, they're acting hungry. Do you understand? They're opportunists. Yes, they are. They will take the opportunity if it's there in a good way, or it's there if the opportunities are not there, then they'll seize their opportunities in a negative way. Do you understand? But we have to provide for these young people, because at the end of the day, when you have a country that cannot provide for young people and they're acting socially incorrectly, then you have to look at the political, social environment that they grow up in.
Definitely.
Do you understand?
You can't be ashamed of them if you're giving them nothing to make you proud. You're giving them no opportunity to make you proud. You can't be ashamed of them.
My problem with them is, okay, like, I know we can all look at.
Yeah, who is them? Who is them?
It's your kids. It's your cousins
Talking about the people that robbed my shop.
I'm saying
I've
it's
seen
your
on the
cousins and
CCTV.
their people.
That's what we're talking about, yeah?
United Kingdom riot. We're talking about. It's not. This
But
is
we're
not
not talking
just.
about United Kingdom.
This is
We're
yeah.
One at a time,
This is United Kingdom.
one at a time.
Hang on,
We
I'm
want to hear
saying-
each other.
I'm just saying that it's not even a race thing. It's really not a race thing. It's a poverty thing. We're going back to what you were saying about feeling like you're in poverty in one of the most richest places in the world. Having everything here, but you can't access it, and that's not fair. But it's not even a race thing. It's not even. It's children around the whole of the country protesting against the synthetic world.
Yeah, it's an invisible
this
ceiling.
isn't even young black youths. This is like children, like Birmingham. Like, you're going far out. It's spreading. It's rippling. Because all children have something to say.
Yeah.
And it's
Not
just
just
they
blacks.
don't know it.
Not
the
just
poverty
blacks.
of knowledge, a poverty of the housing, poverty of conditions.
But do you really think that they went the best way about expressing
No, they
it?
didn't. But there's no right way to
There
express
isn't
it.
when you can't articulate what the problem is.
Exactly.
You don't have the education to even articulate it.
You can scream as loud as you want, yeah? If no one's going to listen to you, you go and do what you got to do to make sure they're going to listen to you, yeah?
They've been screaming.
One in
They've been calling each other.
five white children is dyslexic or has learning difficulties. 1 in 10 black people, yeah, has some sort of learning difficulty, yeah? The system doesn't cater for those people at the moment, yeah? They say, okay, you got learning difficulty, no special education, just get on with it. Put you in the back of the class, yeah?
So they need to get rid of this whole idea of opportunities are for everybody. That is an illusion. If you look at all the people in positions of power, MPs pass their powers on to their sons. You're talking about hereditary peers that are hereditary born into parliament. This isn't about equal opportunity or opportunity for everybody. It's about selective
They go to the best
elitism. Unless you've gone to Eton or Cambridge, that's when you have a chance to be elite. Or if you live in King's Road, if you look at the places that haven't been affected, like King's Road and Chelsea, these are the places that have communities that do not understand the challenges that people are facing. So they would have no reason to be taking it to the streets.
With you, yeah? Can I disagree with you?
Go ahead.
Right, okay. I was born in a war-torn country. Okay. Right? My first.
What war-torn country
It doesn't matter. It was a war-torn country. It doesn't
Very
matter.
much does.
Right? My life in
It
Europe.
actually does.
Was it third world?
Yeah, it was developing country.
Which one?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does actually matter.
It doesn't.
It does.
My life started in a refugee camp.
Okay.
There was no, there was no service spoon anywhere. That we start with at nothing, right?
Okay.
I still managed to re-establish myself. I live now in London. I work in the city. I've got a good income, right? So,
okay.
So you want to take me away from that?
No, no one wants to take you away from it. But you need to understand
what it is
the challenges that you face. Okay, you face lots of challenges here, but what you're talking about, you were in a concentration camp.
No.
These problems here are generations deep. So it's not just one person, it's education of family systems that allow these things to come forward. If you're looking at teenage pregnancies and teenage mothers, these are the children of teenage mothers.
Their babies are babies, you understand what I'm saying?
In terms of your the country you came from, culturally you may not have initially problems we have here.
These are all excuses.
They're your views.
Why don't you don't recognise
Why don't you speak? Why don't you go out and speak to those people?
That's totally wrong, man. That's totally wrong.
The ability to articulate if you've had the education in the first place. To learn. And our education system has been stumped up for the last 20 years.
You're assuming that education is...
What do you mean you don't need an education? What do you mean you don't need education?
No.
If you've got no GCSEs or anything else, you ain't getting no job in this country.
You smash a window, you beat an innocent person. You
smash you like before.
That's the only articulation. That's the reason. The reason is a seed is in everybody. Everybody is born with reason,
something that's culturally given to you by nurture. You don't, whatever your circumstances in your
so what you're telling me
environment,
that all these people that were looting, they have no cultures? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, definitely. No. You grew up in a refugee camp, yeah? You probably had more, I'm saying, you probably have more camaraderie in that refugee camp than any kid I know in any estate in Britain. They live under attack from each other. They're divided from each other. What I'm saying is they're not even connected to each other.
So what about these gangs then? What about these gangs? Right?
I'm saying they're divided amongst each other.
I understand you're coming with a sort of arrogant attitude. Look, I come from a very poor background. No, hang on. I come from a situation where I was brought up on benefits.
Right.
My mother was on benefits from Leeds in Beeston, where the Beeston bombers were. Right. I'm now a lawyer working in the city.
Right.
But I understand the pain of these people. No, I still come from the same situation. I don't have the arrogance to think that I by myself become a lawyer, even though I came from a poor situation where I was in a school where everyone got E's and F's, everyone was beaten up. I made myself a lawyer here in London, but I do not have the arrogance to think, therefore, everybody else should be on the same way.
What arrogance?
Because it is an arrogant...
All of these people are here, they've got what?
I don't.
All of you are here.
All I'm trying to say is, I step on the shoulders of my...
Why are you finding justification for all this?
It's not even a justification. I'm from
everybody of you. You're reasonable people here. Debating about reason.
I'm from a third world country as well, yeah? Listen, I'm from a third world country as well.
Open the circle, open it up, open it up.
Let me make one point. Right? I mean, we shouldn't be even debating about all of this.
No, we should. It's the most important debate. It's the most important debate. It's the most important debate. Outside the destruction.
Hold up, bro. No, I'm debating with you. I'm debating with you. No, listen.
We all agree on something.
Listen, Demi.
The debate is important.
You're on the wrong platform.
Wrong thing.
No, listen.
Hold on.
No, listen. You're on the wrong platform, bro. This ain't your home country, this is mine. Yeah? This is where I'm from. No. This is where I was born and bred. Was you born and bred here?
No, I wasn't.
Do you understand what I feel? Do you understand how I feel?
What's she trying to say?
No, I'm asking you a question.
To criticize the society because I'm not born here. You're fascist.
Do you understand how I feel? Do you understand how I feel?
Why are you labeling them?
Listen, it doesn't matter.
You've got
To assume.
She didn't say that. She didn't say that though. That's what you said.
Let's go back. What you said. Listen,
I'm from a third world country as well.
Once you've had a chance to speak, let everyone speak as well.
Let me say one thing, yeah. I'm from a third world country as well, yeah. I'm from South Africa, yeah. This won't happen in South Africa. where we live, yeah, in the townships and that, we're much poorer, much poorer than over here, yeah. It would never happen. The situations over here, you cannot even compare to that refugee camp you grew in. If you don't understand, yeah, and you feel like these youths are ungrateful for what they got, maybe that's because you haven't looked at what the conditions they live in. I'm saying all types of pain, yeah. They're all what do you call it? They're all comparable in certain ways, yeah. But other ways they're not. England is a different type of place. You understand? Where you grew up and where I was born, yeah, they're not like here. They're not like over here. There is a community. You understand? There's a community where if I was writing in my country, my granddad would probably kill me over there. Get me? Over here, I don't even know my neighbours. I don't know no one on my street. I don't know no one anywhere apart from my estate. Yeah, that's the only people I know. That's the only people I know on my estate. They're only angry. You're only angry because this hit the high street. You're only angry because this has been going on in London. This has been going on in London. Listen to what I'm saying. This has been going on in London for 10 years. For 50 years. Not just black people, Asian people, white people have been living in these conditions for 20 years. Yeah? This has been going on longer than you. I'm trying to explain to you. No, it don't matter. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. This is what I'm trying to explain. It doesn't.
You don't listen.
This is a grenade, yeah, that the government pulled the pin out on 50 years ago. I'm saying and now it's off. You're angry. We're from it the same. We're from it the same. We're from third world. We have a community. Don't judge these youths. They don't have what we had. They don't have grandparents looking after. In your refugee camp, you had a community of being us against the world. There's no us over here.
You said from the get-go, you don't care. You have nothing to say.
Why should I care?
You'll give an opinion. You'll give an opinion, yeah?
If you don't care,
what do you care about?
A shot more than a human being.
No reason. I can understand what you're saying.
The human beings that went out there.
Who shot the guy? Who shot the guy?
Who shot the guy? The police. The police.
The police.
I'm not saying it was you. I'm not saying it was you.
The guy in Croydon was shot probably by one of his own.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Oh, come on.
You're judging. You're judging. You're a hypocrite.
Anyway, guys, what was the debate?
She was. You're a hypocrite. You thought she was. Because you're making judgments. You're making judgments. Am I lying? Are you making a judgment? Didn't you just say the guy that got shot in Croydon probably got shot by his friends? That's racist. That's racist.
That's nothing to do with the guy that got shot.
You don't care? I know you don't. I know you don't care. I know you don't. And that's why the situation is as it is. Because human beings don't care like you. Human beings like you don't care. You know what it is? You just don't understand. You don't understand.
You don't, look, just accept you don't understand.
You don't understand. You don't. Bro, listen to this. Bro, listen to this. Man, listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this, bro. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to me for a second. My people came here on the Caribbeans, yeah? In the Windrush era, we came here on the same level as dogs, yeah? Ourselves, when it said, listen to this. We started. You don't understand our social, political, historical journey, our cultural journey either. You don't understand it. We came here on the level as, on the same level as dogs. No dogs, no blacks, no Arabs. That's how we came here. Don't tell me not to raise my voice, please. It's a free country. It's a free country. You're touching me. I'm not touching you. It's a free country. I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting.
Already move away. Move away.
He's not shouting.
You should put your power into something very interesting. You should go sue, whoever you think has brought up slavery, like the Jewish, they do the Germans, they get money. They've got 90 billion euros, right? That's my advice.
I'm not. I understand what you're saying. I've heard that before from my own people. We've been trying to get reparations for years. They won't. What do you mean? Then do it. Listen to me. We've been trying to do that for years. Well, I'm not asking anyone for money. I don't want money. I don't want money from anyone. If anything, I want them to invest into institutions that can help to educate my people. Do you understand? I don't want money. I don't want money. Infrastructure. That's what we need. Do you understand?
It's not just infrastructure. It's not just infrastructure. It's discipline.
It's a
waste of your time. It's discipline.
Yeah.
It's discipline as well.
It's alright. We're talking. Go on. We're doing all sorts of things, brother. Have you studied the journey of the black community? Do some history and then come back to me and talk. I'll give you my number. Hold on, I'll give you my number. Listen to this. Before we talk any further, I'll give you my number and my email. Study the social, political, historical, cultural journey of black people in the UK. Phone me and then we can talk after that. Yeah? No problem. Go on. Listen to this. Over decades, they've been smashing out our community centres. They haven't got hardly nowhere to go to. There's no activities hardly for them to do.
Hold up.
So, at the end of the day, you're seeing a manifestation of what's been deprived from them.
Basically,
that's all you're seeing. It's an outburst of emotion because then they see no future in themselves. They're doing self-harm.
Wait,
they're harming their own community.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
The people, what I'm saying is the people.
You don't know that. I don't think everyone. I don't think so.
The residents of this community don't understand why you. Why not tell the government? Why isn't everyone at West?
Hold up. Listen. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but we have been doing a lot.
Wait. I've worked with the youth services. I know. I've worked with the National Health. I know. I've seen the suffering. I've grown up in the suffering.
It's not that we're not doing it.
But they're attacking the communities. Why not be attacking the West?
Yes, sometimes it's a form of articulation that some of these children just do not have.
I like that you're outspoken. I respect it.
That's it.
That's why I'm here, because it's my community. But what people are really hurting about and where we're not doing any favours, because I'm 52, I remember Brixton, right?
Yeah.
And I remember all the good that was at the Brixton. I remember the middle class fuckers going, let's go to Brixton and have a riot. And I'm like, fuck off, you don't know what's going on there. You don't know what's going on. I lived through Brixton. I saw the work was done. This is unwinding all the work that's done, and it's going to make the racial hatred worse. I'm a woman of colour. I'm Asian, okay? I don't look very Asian. I'm 3/4 Asian. And the racists I've had, and my brother stopped and searched, and I know all of that because they're darker than me. All of that, they know all of that. But what this is doing is unwinding
making it worse,
all the good. It's making it worse, babe. And I respect that there's causes.
They take youth services away.
What are you talking about?
They take youth services away. This should be directed at the
This should be destroying the communities. I think it's by directing it on the streets, it's going to the wrong place. Because even the students last year directed it to the banks.
Where am I supposed to go? I'm from the streets. Where do I go?
Exactly. There's no shops open.
Hold up. I'm from the streets. You tell me where I should go.
Your voice is being heard right now.
No, but you tell me where I should go. Only because of this, though.
No one
This is the only way they're gonna listen. This is the only way they're gonna listen.
We can't even go shopping.
They had to do this for their own voice to be heard.
That's it stopped now.
And at the end of the day, has it stopped? You're asking them. Has it stopped? Has it stopped? I don't.
Moving on. Has it stopped? I'm not infiltrating now. I'm asking you, has it stopped?
Has what stopped? Yeah.
All of this. You've heard your voice. You've had your voices heard all over the country.
We haven't been heard yet. We haven't been heard. This is hopefully this is.
If you hear a scream, it don't really understand what they were saying.
Exactly.
Now you're Africa standing behind children and what it's done yet. I don't condone it. But at the same time as that,
I'm on your side.
they get themselves heard, I'm not standing there arguing for their side on what they want, which is more things for the youth to do in this country. Because it's shit for them to do, there's nothing for them to do. They close youth centres now, they dig up fucking car parks and
I'm just the word of the people, I'm just the word of the community saying, please don't smash up our community. Why? You know, I don't see the correlation. Yes, we have political problems, yes, we have unemployment problems, yes, we have social problems, we always have had. Throughout history we have. And now because we have better media, it doesn't mean that Clapham warehouse, every shop being boarded up this street has to suffer, and the taxpayer's going to have to pay for it. That's all.
Okay, but this is the powder cake.
I've been on both sides of the coin. I know what it's like.
This is the powder cake. This is the powder cake that's blown up. Okay, you know what I mean? I was watching.
Young people have been trying to speak for a long time. They get taken literally, they get taken for idiots, they get taken for being stupid. Nobody, as soon as they see a hat, tracksuit bottoms, they don't want to hear what people have to say. say because automatically they're putting up a barrier. This is me and that's you. Yeah. But as soon as you start to take that away and actually start to listen to what people need to do is find out what the children are upset about and what we can do to help that, because they are victims. People aren't, I'd say, they're doing this. Look what they're doing to my Deboners. Look what they're doing to my JD. People don't even go and shop in JD, but they've got something to say about it. This is not about that. This is about finding out what the children are upset about and helping and figuring out the solution.
So what are they upset about?
Thank you. You just dropped that.
Mistreatment by police. If you look at the situation, how it started, you had the young, you had the racism,
being dyslexic, being illiterate, being not able,
being criminalised as bold,
having the freedom of expression, but not even knowing how to express.
Being segregated through the news as well.
Is this about race, or is it about rich and poor, or what is it about?
It's about both. It's the divide. The ignorant people, the kids are divided between themselves, even in schools, But because every kid on the street, you got a hoodie on, you got a hoodie on your kid, under 16, under 17, 18, you got a hoodie on your head, You're a hoodie, you're a fuck.
Do you know what my friend?
Not a good person. You're put in a box.
My friend today said that he was just on the train going to work. He had an error hat on. He had his normal tracksuit bottoms, and he said he felt like he had to explain to people where he was last night because people are looking at him like, oh,
yes,
you know what, I'll keep my child away from you. Actually, I don't know where you were last night. This is creating a divide, and that guy is one of the most lovely, most humble people I know that would never hurt a fly.
But that's exactly it. It's the fact that, you know, this everything that's happening. I understand there's problems behind it, and there's a lot more deeper issues, and it's a very, very complex issue. But this only goes to increase and exacerbate the problem. You know, I can understand that they may be frustrated, but you know, we brought up in a country whereby I understand people are very frustrated, and there's things that, you know, peaceful protest doesn't go so far because maybe the government ignores it like they do in a lot of other places, and it might be a way of forcing things out, but it doesn't work.
But they don't.
It really doesn't. It just,
you, like the media, have mistaken an explanation of why people for an apology. They're not apologising for it. They're explaining why.
Yeah, but it's just the thing is that I understand why they've done it. I can see how they're frustrated, but it's only going to make the problem.
No, but the thing is, as a young person, you don't know how to peacefully demonstrate. All you know how to do is express yourself the way you feel now, and that's what hip hop's all about. They're just expressing themselves the way I feel now. This is how I feel. I'm gonna let it out.
I'm a firm believer that anyone can turn their life around if they're determined enough. They can do it.
No, but hold on.
I don't disagree. I just feel like sometimes when the tide is against you, shit's made harder. It's just made harder. Some of these kids don't even know how to articulate themselves. Like, you have to be given, sometimes you have to be given the opportunity in order to have the tools in order to articulate yourself. If I was never been given the tools, you tell me, how am I going to articulate myself? For you, another guy from someone else to understand me.
So what kind of tools do you feel that you need in order to articulate yourself?
Okay, for instance, it's the summer holiday, right?
There's been,
I'm a youth, but there's no youth clubs, dude. Like, really, I'm out of work because of it. Like, I'm not even talking from being a youth. There's no youth clubs. There's been so many cuts that these kids have literally nowhere to be but on
the street
road. If you take away where I'm supposed to be, where am I supposed to go? You tell me where I'm supposed to, not you, but I'm saying, where am I supposed to go? And then you want to complain because you didn't give us anywhere to go. Because we made a little noise on. This has been going just over the bridge, you know, like not far. 10 minutes. This shit has been popping for a very long time.
But
it just came here.
My youth club was closed when I was 9 years old. The one that I went to when I grew up.
One youth club or the masses of youth clubs in the London? The ones that are alone. I'm not one to talk. I'm not every youth club. I'm not even trying to be on trying to tell you anything. I'm just trying to express to you how some of my people and my peers, some of the people are younger than me, some of the kids that I've worked with, how they feel. That's it. All we need is understanding.
That's it.
All we need is understanding. No one asks you for no handouts. No one asking anyone to do something for me. Give me the real opportunity and see if I don't shine. Half of these kids ain't got that.
You've got to use these things to find out how they go. So, bear in mind, 1985, it was the same things that was going on at the same time.
Only we're in a different time.
Nothing's really changed.
Exactly, nothing's really changed. There you go.
Find what the problem is, and
that's 20 years compounded. That's just 20 years compounded.
And it has to be the political system. It has to be how the.
You've got to find a way to get out of this. You know what I mean?
We need people to stand with us, not stand on the other side of the bridge and hope we can make it across the river.
Exactly.
But you need to find a way out of this. Now, if you not think we've been trying to do that for 20 years, you don't think that's what they're trying to do right now. These people want out. We all want out. Everyone want out. As soon as we get out of these estates, we're perjurized for it, man. You know what? I'm white, and my mum moved me out to the country for 4 years, and because of my voice, just because of the estate I was raised in, I got slewed from it from every white boy around me, because none of them had the education to know what it was like to embrace someone that had maybe grown up in a hard life. They didn't know how to embrace, didn't know how to hug, didn't know how to warm people in. I got like 5 fights in my first day of school. I never got a fight in East London when I was in school down there. I got 5 fights in my first week in Essex because I was from London. I didn't know no one. No one. We weren't accepted, pushed aside, told you have to sit in that corner. What happens when you put a dog in a corner? It lashes out. It lashes out. We roll like pack animals. None of us like the fact we roll like pack animals, but we've learned to do it, we've adjusted, we've evolved.
It's human nature.
Human nature, it's what we are.
The starting point is listening. But you know what, bro? It's actually turning down all your opinions. It's actually turning down the fact that it's humbling yourself. It's having the patience. It's having the heart to listen and to ask, what is the problem? What do you want us to do? Because I'll tell you something, if the kids are angry, the mums and the dads are angry. They're the ones that are complaining at home, but they just don't know what to do about it. They just tell their kids, oh, do you know what? Everything's fucked up. Everything's fucked up. Everything's fucked up.
And who should be the spokesperson for people, do you think?
Do you know what? It's people that have these opinions. You know, that's why I came down here to film in the first place, is because I want to know what people's opinions are, and I want to know what the solutions are, and I want to know that I'm not the only one that wants a solution, because I know that I'm not. And as much as I'm not listening to music right now because it's winding me up, I can't sit in my house and do nothing. So I have to find common ground. I have to meet all of these people. I don't know any of these people. I'm playing here with just me, one, and my friend. Do you know what I mean? But all of a sudden, there's uniting people, and there's debates, and there's arguments, and there's actually people that are getting really passionate and aggressive, because everyone in the whole of the UK has an opinion on this one. Everyone, every brand, every child, everyone's talking about it. And there must be some people that have the solution.
And it's also, it's not just the problem, this problem, there's other problems. London needs to admit to all these other problems, and I think the youth has kind of focused in on this, but there's an unhappiness and unrest in everybody about the corruption that's in society, that they can't trust leadership. We've had problems with all the banks and the media scandals.
and the general unrest.
They're starting to see that corruption and the system that they believe in isn't as genuine as people would think to believe. So, and I think London as a whole are feeling that, but it's just the kids representing it. We've seen people get really heated about subjects before. So I think the adults in this community and in London also need to look at themselves and speak to the powers and forces that control the country, and tell them that they're really unhappy with things as well, because we can see governments and people not respecting the law themselves. We can see the youth are emulating that, and now we actually need a change in people that are running everything. It's nothing to do with just
starts in a community.
Well, it's difficult. A king is never going to relinquish his crown at the end of the day. And people, MPs, as you say, you've got hereditary peers that you have to be born into these positions. People aren't going to relinquish their positions of power and their wealth.
But let's not worry about what they want. Let's worry about how we can say what we want.
Well, people aren't going to be happy until there's a balance and wealth is redistributed. When you look at people that live in Chelsea, you're looking at super taxes that protect the rich and protect the wealth. What we need to start doing is go to places like Chelsea, and people that have massive amounts of wealth, using that wealth to help other places and not just keeping it in certain places.
It should be compulsory. If you earn a certain amount of money or over, you have to give it.
This country is very, very rich. It's very rich.
And what did it get rich upon? How did it get rich? That's one thing. That's what we got to ask ourselves. How did the UK get rich?
That you'd worked so hard.
Empire.
So you didn't
looting.
privileged upbringing.
You want to talk about real looting?
Privileged upbringing that you just have to work hard and you achieve that all by yourself, and then to have someone say, we want to take that from you, going to take all that from you, even though you worked. Yes, I understand there's a lot of people that are very privileged and they have had a privileged upbringing. But imagine if you were in that position where you've worked so hard and you've achieved all that to earn that £750,000 a year.
But what people need to realise, if you're enjoying wealth and someone else next to you is enjoying poverty, that shouldn't be the same experience.
Not enjoying it. We're not enjoying it.
It's about sharing, and that's what London needs to do.
But you know what? A lot of the rich people that you're talking about, a lot of the rich people that you're talking about, a lot of the rich people that you're talking about.
One second. The lady, we've got the lady over here. Go on.
A lot of the rich people that you're talking about. Wow. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the rich people that you're talking about actually didn't work that hard
to get.
Do you know who's working hard?
Sorry, bro.
These people. And they're not getting anything from it.
But anyway, it shouldn't turn into
it's the truth.
Us and them or anything else. It should be about what.
No, but it is that. That's the reality of it.
It's a combination of the two, because I have to say, a lot of these youths, whether you're black, white, it starts in educating yourselves, and I'm not talking about the school system. I'm talking about making yourself aware of who your neighbour is, of who's behind you, and who's in front of you. So wait, no, little things, like for this guy, sorry, bruv, little things like for this guy. The only man, I was the other dude out here that was shouting. I appreciate you coming in and having a conversation with everybody and staying calm.
Debate is healthy. You've got to have this. That's what living in democracy is all about. You've got to have both sides of the story.
I suppose what I was trying to say is we should be working out what we want rather than instead of saying we don't want them to have that or them to have that. We should be saying, okay, what do we need?
It's a louder voice though, and it's a multicultural voice that needs to be heard as opposed to
health
anyone.
services that are equal to everybody. So
even emergency services. Actually, the NHS, although it is shit and flawed, is so much better than at home where you have to pay to go to the GP.
Definitely, but it's different whether you live in Chelsea or Lambeth or Southwark or whatever area you're in. You get different education because teachers are paid differently, and they want to be a more affluent school. So we need the same quality of teaching and the same quality of healthcare and the same quality of services that you get in the richest boroughs.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what makes me.
But that's not what they want.
Why is it high streets everybody's caring about?
It doesn't matter what we want.
Think about what's behind the high street before you come and just do the aesthetics of what looks nice for people. Yeah, go behind the high street, help the communities, and then they will inject and build their own communities instead of just building the fronts of it and leaving the backs.
But you know what? That's not what they want. At the end of the day, the youth know that, so they're taking it into their own hands, and that's what we see today. At the end of the day, as you said, there's certain families that want to keep themselves in power, and they're not looking to compromise that power.
But again, I think the point should be let's not worry about what they fucking want. Let's decide what we want.
I don't
think we're in a different position. What do they really want to push is that their money and that all of this country's money is being spent appropriately. That's why they've lost so much faith in the system, because they're thinking all this money, all these guys.
Hold up, bro.
All these people have got a lot of money. They're thinking you've got money. Cool, have your money. If you want to make a lot of money, make a lot of money. Work hard for it. But when you're in charge of our government and you're running our money as well as your money and it's not being spent appropriately, but you man are still on holiday.
And another thing is
to get fed.
Because their wealth is also unjustified, because as we know, the UK went around looting and stealing other countries around the world to get the wealth that they got today. They never worked hard for what they got. Do you understand? And at the end of the day, because that's unjustified, they can't act in a just manner. Because subconsciously they know that they have this wealth for that very reason, and they want to hold on to it.
It's not even historical now. You run up on any country that has got one oil running.
Do you know what it takes? It takes for them to care.
The youth follow the example of the government at the top. It's a capitalist society. Get yours. Fuck you. Get me.
Exactly.
Fuck you. Pay me. You understand what I'm saying? That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And then when the youth throw it back in our faces, we get angry at them. We live in a fuck you pay me world, and if anyone denies it,
And we say those youths are uneducated. If those poverty areas,
it's so contradictory in the way they carry themselves.
and if the youths of these areas had the kind of quality education, if they in different areas that they have, then maybe they wouldn't be on the streets. And it starts from that ground level, and it started from their parents. That's the problem. These problems have been like 50, 60 years now. So
do you think there's a problem with the parenting yourself?
There's
a question, out of curiosity.
Well, the parents themselves have gone through the terrible education and services as their children, so they're not going to be able to teach them any better.
What's funny is me and you went to the same school.
We did.
We went to the same school, Daniel.
Sam.
Yeah, what's up?
Good to see you again.
It's an inherited land.
I think what you were saying is one of the most important things it's about money, it's about how government has destroyed what our young people have as home.
Yeah.
So if you've got, it was a longer time ago when I was a teenager, but you're bored and you're pissed off and you're angry because you're a teenager. And
There's that, and
you've not got a youth club to go to, you've not got teachers that believe in you, give you hope for the future and motivate you and prepare. If you've not got a playground to hang out with or open space, or you have to pay to go.
another thing. If I had to give any